Hello folks, welcome to El Canal Channel Jose. Today we're going to talk about the drones and we're not experts on it, but today we have this DJI Mini 2, and the reason we have this drone is because we don't have to register it in this websites that you have to go on and register, because this DJI weighs less than 250 grams. So if your drone weight is heavier than that, you're gonna have to register in these websites that you before you start flying it, because of the weight. DJI came out with this smaller version of drones that you don't have to register. But what about if you have done a repair or you added a light or something, and that increased the weight of that drone by 3-5 grams? That means that can get you in serious trouble. So if you want to decrease that weight back down, but you still gotta add those lights or something that is gonna increase those 3 grams, but you wanna drop it down again, how you can do that, we're gonna show you next how we did it. And this is from our personal experience that we went through the online and we found some stuff out there, but we thought about this and we wanna share it so you can apply it to your drone. And with that said, let's get started. So now we got a scale for grams, and we're gonna take our drone and we're about to take the lens or the camera protector, the gimbal protector. We'll take it off and we're about to fly. We are gonna weigh this drone with the battery on into the scale without the gimbal protector, just like we're about to fly, to see how much it weighs. And if you don't know how much your drone weighs after you have added some stuff, and you added some lights or you added some external stuff to it, and you are flying and you get inspected and that drone weighs more than 250 grams, even if it was made at 250 or less, but because that drone weighs more, now you're in trouble. So how can you reduce that weight? And we're going to show you, but we're going to put it on the scale to start with. So we got the battery ready to go. We're just going to take the gimbal protector off, put it on the scale, and start from there. Okay folks, so we have our scale is reading 0 grams, and we have our DJI Mini 2 right here. And imagine we're about to fly it, and the legs are expanded, but for us to set it on the scale, we have to put everything back together like storage. So we'll take the plastic cover for the gimbal, and we're going to show you that the battery is in there with a SD card. So now we have the drone ready to fly. We put it on the scale and it reads 239 grams. So that's a DJI Mini without any modifications, any lights, or any stuff that we have it on. So we haven't added anything. But if you start adding stuff, the weight is going to start going up. For example, how much is that? For example, how much does the cover weighs? A couple grams. So this plastic weighs a couple grams. So little by little starts gaining some weight. So how you can reduce that? Instead, when you add weight, how can you take weight from some other parts? We're going to show you. How can you take weight out of this drone without affecting the structure? So you can't take the blades off, you can't take the motors off, you can't take the camera off, you can't take the legs or any of that stuff. So what can you do? Well, we can work with the battery. So we're going to be working with the battery to start with. So what we have done is we have split the shell of the battery, and we extracted the battery from the inside, and we have work on the shelf. And we're going to show you how much this battery weighs versus the battery that we have already modified. So now this DJI Mini 2 battery without modifications, it weighs 81 grams. So now this is the battery that we have modified. It's 79 grams. And we have drilled out a bunch of holes on this battery shell. So what we do is once we put it back, it still keeps its shape, but we have taken a lot of plastic out. So a couple grams can mean a lot for the life of the battery and for the motors not to be struggling. So imagine if we have done that to the battery shelf. Can you imagine if we can do that to the body or some parts of the drone, like the rear hatch, and drill it out a couple times, a bunch of holes, but to keep the structure shape? So don't mess with the structure, just drill it out so you can make this look like a strainer, but it still have its integrity. So this drone, if we can do that to this drone in that certain areas, if we can take it apart and drill it out like that, you can take a lot of plastic off. So I would take it apart. We're gonna try to take it apart and drill out the top and some of the bottom area and the hatch without affecting the structure or the integrity of the shelf, or the so it doesn't come off or it doesn't break off. So we can take some plastic off, make it lighter, so maybe the battery will last longer. This is a trick for those folks who are wants to decrease the weight of their drone. So we just want to share this out. And if you think this might be something that you can do to your drone, what we have done, we'll show you a little bit about how we did this. And this is just we're sharing. So instead of scraping the body of the drone or the battery or looking for parts to scrape on it, just drill out this kind of stuff. And then we are about to put this battery back on so we can put it on the drone, but we haven't finished drilling. So we want to show you about that, how we did it, so you get a better idea on how you can drill it out. Taking it apart, you got to do it careful. You just got to split it. We're going to split this battery so you can see how we did this on splitting it, but you got to be careful on that so you don't break the plastic. So let's show you how we did the splitting and how we drill it out. Now what we're going to be doing, this is the edges where both plastics merge and join as to make the shelf of the battery. So that's it. It goes just long. You see that? So we're gonna be using a flathead screwdriver to separate this, but you can use a plastic spatula, something that you don't want to, if you don't want to damage that battery too much. But we don't care about that because we're gonna shave, we're gonna sand it down or shave it. So we're gonna be careful, but we're gonna be using this to split the battery so we can get those two split and get the shelves away from the actual battery inside. You want to be careful with the connectors and all that. So let's show you how we did it. So now that you have taken it apart, what you can start doing is work on one half before you mess with the other half. So that way you can see how it looks like when you start drilling. But we're gonna take this apart. So what we do is that we're gonna shove this screwdriver in there, and we're not gonna force it too much, but we're gonna start peeling it just slowly and move around. You don't want to penetrate the battery either. There's a double sticky tape on that right here, sticking the battery to the plastic, and you don't want to bend too much because you might damage the connectors here. So you just want to go on both sides and do that like this slowly. So we recommend you, if you haven't done this, get a spatula or a piece of wood that you can start doing this so to split the battery. So now that you have splitted the battery, now we're going to show you how we drill it out the best way so we can clean out most of the plastic out so you have a most clean surface just with holes in it so you can take advantage of the drilling. So now what we have done is we are using a 7/64 drill bit. It's a small one. You can use a smaller one or bigger, but that's what we rather use because that's how many, as you can see. So now we're going to show you how we actually drill it out to actually take advantage of that drilling point or how it comes out. So you want to start drilling from the inside out so it pushes out and all the plastic comes out of here and you can just shave it off right here. So let's show you how we did. So now what we have done is we have drilled from the inside out. Reason why we done that is because if you drill from the outside in, all the shavings are gonna push in, so it's easier to cut it with a knife outside like this. So once you drill everything out, you can shave it off and it's be smoother outside, and everything in the inside will be cleaner, so you don't have to get a knife in there and start getting into a smaller area. So you just keep doing that a lot of times, and then you can clean that shavings with a knife, with a utility knife or something, sandpaper, and then it'll be smooth. So let's do that for a few times. So now that we have drilled it a few times, what we can do is we can clean it with a knife, flush, and then we need to, we'll get the knife in there and cut it out, so then the whole hole is clean enough and it's less plastic that is gonna stay there, so we can clean it out. So as you can see from the inside it's clean. All we have to shave is from the outside. So now you can just continue and do holes everywhere. And if you don't care about the looks, this will be a really good method to lighten your, get some weight off of your drone by starting with a battery. And if you like this and you can do the drone shelf, you can do this as well. So it stays the integrity of the shelf just like this. So we're just about to put this back together. We're gonna do a couple more holes somewhere in a few places, like here, 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 and then in this area, so that way we can put it back together and we can start using it and get some weight off of our drone. And if we like it, then you can start working on your drone and do the same thing if you don't care about the looks. So this is an easy way to get some weight off of your drone. Instead of shaving it, just drill through it and put everything back together, and you got less it's not thin, you don't thin out the plastic, you just make a like a panel, like a honeycomb, so it's still structured rigid. So now that we have our battery fully drilled out and clean, so what we can do is we can start putting it together, put the battery inside and start putting it together and assemble it. So now we're gonna weigh the original battery that hasn't been modified at all. We're gonna weigh 81 grams. And now we're gonna put the one that we have modified and see how much it gives us. 78 grams. So it's a few grams difference. So by doing this, we still got the structure of the battery and we can still use it and charge it and put it on the drone. So we're gonna slide it on the drone and show you that it still turns on without even affecting the charging or the flying operation. And well, folks, we wanted just to expose this tip or this technique that you can do to your drone on starting with the battery. And what we did is we took the battery apart, so that way when you drill into it, you don't, or drill out, you don't drill into the actual battery. So you just want to drill the shell, not the battery. So that's why we took it apart, so that way we don't damage the battery, and then we can take our time. If you want to continue with the drone is up to you, and then we're just giving you the technique on what we did, and if it worked for us. So hopefully you like this and you can apply some other stuff to it. So if you ever did repairs to it, or you add some stuff to the drone, and you don't want to go over the limit of the weight, you can start doing some of this stuff to reduce those couple grams here and there. So we did this so we can start making our drone lighter, so that way maybe the battery will last a little longer, and then we don't work those motors as much, because all that weight, it just by hovering, it can make the battery drain out a lot. Also, we just wanted to hover there lighter, so we don't, even if it lasts about the same, we just want that lighter drone when we're using it. So with that said, folks, this, like we said, this technique, we're gonna share it. This is not that you have to do it. This is just so you have an idea of what we did and it worked for us. So with that said, folks, for our friends who are watching our video, have you subscribed to our channel? Please subscribe. If you like our video, give us thumbs up, share it, and we'll see you soon with more videos here en el canal El Chano José.